Hi guys, I'm Shmi and you join me at the 2017 Geneva Motorshow on the Pagani stand, where we're going to be taking a look at this, the new Huayra Roadster. So 6 years after Pagani revealed the Huayra itself here at Geneva, they've now taken the top off and we have the convertible open version in the form of this car. So it still maintains the 6-litre bi-turbo V12. Power is up though, now has 764 horsepower, up from the 730 it started out with. But let's talk mostly about how this thing looks, especially finished in the blue carbon fibre, the visible carbon fibre with some painted blue accents as well. Now, as you're taking a look, obviously the notable thing is that the roof has gone, and that means the doors have to have a traditional opening method to the side rather than the gull-wing doors that made the coupe so immediately identifiable. Of course, there's also a new rear deck lid where you can just have a peek of the engine through, but we'll get to that in more detail later on as well. And you can see a couple of other cosmetic tweaks around the rear, for example, these sort of eyelids over the top of the rear lights to give it a little bit of airflow, aerodynamic deflection over the rear and give it some more downforce. So like I said, there are going to be 100 of these. They're already sold out, all spoken for. There were 100 coupes, followed by 100 Huayra BC, the more sort of hardcore version that you might have seen in my recent video collecting my friend Greg B's car from the factory. But this takes some of the BC's technology and brings it into the sort of mainstream model, if you could call it that. But let's take a sort of full look around it, a bit more detail. So it's got a new look to the front end, slightly more pointed and aggressive. You've got a new lower section, new splitter, new setup, and you can see those sort of blue accents I highlighted earlier. It still maintains the sort of aerodynamic flap system, front and rear, where you have one on each side. We've got new wheels on this car, shod with the new Pirelli P0 tyres that have the colour stripe around them. You can see on one side of the car we've got the silver wheels, and on the other side you'll notice they're slightly gold as well, with some blue striping. Coming in a little bit closer, the vents are slightly more enlarged. Look at the rear deck in a bit more detail. You can see those cooling ducts over the rear, and then the view through to the V12 from AMG there at the back. I visited the factory where they were made quite recently too. Now on the interior, much the same, but of course without the roof panel. So it's a single piece roof that you lift off. I'll be able to show you that in a moment too. But inside it is otherwise the beautiful, elegant, wonderful finish that we already know of the Pagani Huayra. So everything you look at is beautifully made. All sort of metal surfaces, the top sort of level, leather and Alcantara, and naturally the combination of the blue with sort of cream light tan interior is a colour combination that appeals to me. You've got the open 7-speed single clutch gearbox in the centre, where you can see the sort of mechanism underneath, which is always quite so beautiful. I do particularly like how the glove box works as well, but everything about the car that you look at is just wonderful. I mean, even the way you open the door handle is lifting that up to pull open the door. Like I said, opening in the sort of traditional style outwards, as opposed to how they were before, where it literally gull-winged up towards the top. Now that gives us a view of the tub. It still has the Carbo titanium tub, so different type of carbon fibre material used on the inside to the body panels, for example, for maximum rigidity and strength. And in doing this car and creating it, they've actually managed to take off about 70 or 80 kilos of weight from the coupe, which is quite unusual in this world, because normally you'd have to add additional sort of structural rigidity beams and strengthen the car a little bit, making it heavier. But the Huayra Roadster is lighter than the coupe, which means top speed 220, 230 miles an hour, basically more than enough. 0 to 62 miles an hour, 3.5 seconds. Again, plenty quick, given that it's a rear-wheel drive car, and obviously it's a lot of power to be putting down to the ground. I'm going to open the rear canopy shortly, but to do so, you pull these, release the buckle, and then you would unlatch it, but we'll go around to the other side to release that buckle as well. Firstly, you have to open the door. You have the fuel cap here, as it happens. So it opens up. Undo this. Open that up. Right, so let us pop open the latches and come round to the other side to open that one too. And then you can lift open the rear canopy There is a single piece carbon fibre deck lid, which is nice and light, to reveal the engine, the beautiful piece of work that comes out of a Falter back. You can see this car from F1 Michael Kublar, his name there imprinted on the central piece, but it is such a magnificent thing to look at in here. Everything, even the exhaust back there and the sort of bluey purple, they're just gorgeous. It's wonderful to see sort of the interior of this car, even sort of luggage compartments. These sort of two boxes you have, one on each side, again out of carbon fibre, with these straps to open them up, fold it back. Have a look at the inside, where we have the Huayra Roadster luggage package as well. So you've got two of these, this lovely leather to match the interior with the carbon fibre for the handle at the top as well, the Roadster badge on the side. Even that is a lovely, lovely thing. Close it back up, do up the strap back through here. I think that's the thing with this car, everything you touch is just magnificent. Might be a little bit fiddly, but it's a hypercar, it's supposed to be special, and that's combined with these extra luggage pieces that you have behind the seats as well, one on each side to optimize the space. But everything you look at and see is so super nice, even the sort of pieces here, all the sort of bolts, it's all just magnificent. And I want to show you one other thing here. Horatio was trying to work out what to use for the points, the contact points between the deck lid and the lower bumper, which is obviously a delicate point, because if you put too much pressure on the carbon fibre, it could end up cracking, let's say. And what he's done is use €4 coins, one on each corner, for that contact point, which is just a fun little detail, nice sort of touch in addition to everything else that's part of the car. Now let me close this back up so we can have a look at it again with the deck lid back down. It's really, really light. Drop it into place. I think that's clicked down already. Strap through here. It's back in place. Now let me close the doors and come and show you the roof section. Over here then we have the roof panel for the car, so you can see it's mostly carbon fibre with the glass central section, slightly tinted or with this sort of effect so that you're not going to get too hot inside the car, but you lift that up, take it over to the car, rest it in place. You can see the way it latches in towards the front end and then sort of goes in as well. But Mr. Horatio Pagani himself about to have a photo next to the car. Let's take another sort of look at what else you can see. So around here, look at the meshes. Everywhere on the car you have sort of this mesh. It's this new kind of design. The detail is spectacular. If I come all the way around, you can see you have that same design in there, in towards the rear, and then you have it down at the front as well, in those lower sections. I suppose I should get the nice shot of Horatio himself in front, standing beside his prized car, the Huayra Roadster. Coming in on these wheels, the centre lock wheel, slightly golden on this side with the blue ring that I mentioned before. And then you can see the sort of cutaway behind for the airflow going down the side of the car. So let's talk a little bit about the flaps at the front and the rear. If you didn't already know, they basically operate by opening up, and by doing so it can open up on the outside of the inside of the corner to give a little bit more pressure downwards, more downforce, more grip, and obviously increase cornering speed and make the car a little bit more dynamic through the process. I'm just letting it spin in front of me because it's a really beautiful thing to behold, this car. The Huayras have always looked amazing. Well, the Zonda's always looked amazing. In fact, there's a Zonda just over the other side. Let's take a wander over there. And in fact, it's a yellow one, but this is of course where it all started for Pagani. The Zonda, well, this is the Zonda S, the 7.3 litre naturally aspirated V12. They've kept the V12s from the Zonda into the Huayra, but it's such a kind of unique design, but so distinct and immediately recognisable, and a work of art. It is literally as much a work of art as it is a car, just to look at how wonderful the Zonda was. The Huayra was the successor. It's become pretty popular, especially since it reached the USA. These were always, not all of them were eligible to go to America. This car very much set the tone and the trend for the direction that the Huayra has gone in since. You see that on the inside. Pretty good effort for a first car from a manufacturer, but I was actually at the Pagani Museum for that Huayra BC collection day recently, and had a full look around the different cars and learned
a little bit more about Horatio's story as well while I was there. But things like the quadruple exhaust tip continued through to the Huayra. They've used similar sort of styles in the wings and the shapes and the designs and different features as well. So one last look at this then, the beautiful Pagani Huayra Roadster. Especially beautiful, finished in the dark blue carbon fibre with the nice trim accents, the naked black carbon fibre around the rear and the lights, side skirts and various other sort of areas, parts of the car, the buttresses behind the driver, the windscreen frame, the A-pillars, down at the front as well. I actually quite like these touches on the door mirror, stripe through to the tricolore Italian flag on the end of the door mirrors. Well, they're not even door mirrors actually, they are wing mirrors because they are attached to wings rather than doors like most modern cars. But yes, it is beautiful. This has been the Pagani Huayra Roadster. Its global premiere, first showing here at the 2017 Geneva Motorshow, and probably the most beautiful and elegant car that will be on show at this year's event. So thank you very much for watching as always, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video, seeing all the details up close and personal of this magnificent car. The work of art from Horatio Pagani, that is the Huayra Roadster. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you're subscribed and check out all my other content from this year's Geneva Motorshow. And trust me, there's been an awful lot of it, so make sure you're subscribed. That's it for now though. Thanks again, and I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers.